viewers. This is the Gasam Waxtan, a program brought to you by the Gambia Students Association in Morocco. The Gasam Waxtan is a program meant to build the capacity of its members. It's a program which members are given the opportunity to come and express themselves into very interesting topics that they might have, to discuss with everyone. So today with us we have Mr. Tijan Jallow, a graduate or a master's student in economics here in Kenitra in the University of Ibonofe. Tijan Jallow has been actually a very active member in Gasam. If you know, in fact, he do not need introduction because as far as Gasam is concerned, he is a role model. He's a source of inspiration to many people. So last year he did serve as a member of the as an advisor to the association, and this year he is one of the G3. And prior to that, he served as a financial secretary to the association. Mr. Tijan, you are welcome to the program.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ebrima J Jallow. It is really a pleasure for me to join you in this Waxtan to discuss this important topic with you. This is going to be my second appearance on the Waxtan show. The first time I had it was with Maliki instead, and it was really interesting. This time also I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Tijan. I hope it will be more interesting this time because the topic actually it's very interesting. The topic for today's discussion is actually the rural education in the Gambia. So over the years, we've seen not only when it comes to the education system of the Gambia, we kind of all the time criticize and say the education is very poor. Things are not up to standard. But looking at the situation, I mean, you will see through it the difference. There's a huge difference between education in the combos or in the urban Gambia with that of the rural Gambia. So can you tell us in just few words, what do you think is the difference, and which area do you think it's actually performing more than the other when it comes to school?
Thank you so much. I think this is a very interesting topic that I will be really happy to talk about because I did my part of my schooling at the rural area and I understand the challenges that are there. So it is really important to bring such topics like this to be discussed and let people know what are some of the challenges that people at the rural Gambia are facing. As I said, rural education in the rural Gambia, how it's feel. First thing I would like to first highlight is that when we were there, if I sit sometime I reflect the people that I started my schooling with from grade 1 now, most of those people do not complete their schooling. So what is the problem of that? I think it is worth investigating to know, because it is correct to say that only 50% of those people that I started with were able to complete their junior school, and it is correct also to say that maybe 20% of them were able to finish high school. Even less than 5% of them are able to finish their tertiary level. So there is a problem. What is the problem? I think it is important to highlight that and to see if there will be any solution for it, so that people can start finding a solution for it. First, I would like to start with this thing. It is the distance. This is a problem that so many people might not know, but it is actually affecting so many people at the rural area. And that is the distance from where they are living, their village, to the school where they are supposed to go. I think this is affecting so many people. That is why at some point people have to wait until when their child is grown up for them to send it to the school or to school. Within that period, you realize that some people will tend to give this child different work to be doing at home, and it is almost impossible for you to remove that child from that work to send that person to school, because that person is already grown up. It's different from the combos where when you are born in your 5, 6, 7 years old, you are sent to school, you are able to do certain things at school, and you are not directly sent to the farm or other areas to start working. I think this is a challenge for many people at the provinces. They are, they have to wait until their children are grown up so that they can send them to school. So within that period, they normally send them to other places to go and do other work. So it is almost impossible for them to remove them from that work to take them to other places. The people that are also living in those schools where you have primary, for instance, after their primary, they have to travel again from one place to another to go to another place. So if you do not have a bicycle, you realize that it is so challenging, and I think this is one of the factors that force people stop going to school. It is one of the challenges, and also it is also important to mention that bad administration also contribute to these challenges that people are facing at the rural area, because you realize that people are there, they will not do what is required of them. They will be sitting not doing what is required there. I think that is a challenge that so many people are encountering, because recently I was watching an interview with the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Higher Education. He was talking about this thing that the administration sometimes also contribute to the outcome of the performance of the students. So I think that is important to mention here. And also at some point also it is important to highlight this thing. That is the language barrier that people are facing, because they have to go to school, and the people that are brought to teach, the quality of the teachers there is very low. It is the people with sometimes HTC or something like that. Yeah. Those are the people they send to those places, and it is very difficult at some point.
Definitely. Just to add a little thing on these points that you've mentioned, I think it is actually very, very important, and it is a problem that our schools are facing, especially in the rural Gambia. You've talked about the work that they are being faced with. As a student, I personally, did some part of my schooling in the rural Gambia. I know how it felt, to be a young student, trying to struggle with your school and at the same time being given work to do at home. So at some point you have the parents which try to make sure that they comfort you to keep you focused on school, but it's also very, very difficult for you to be actually independent 100%, not to do some works in the home. That is also very important. You've talked about poor administration. That also is a major factor which is affecting schools or rural Gambia education. The administration, number one, you don't have the fit teachers most of the time. That is also a problem, I believe. The other thing you made mention is of the distance. Exactly. I can remember while I was in junior school, I do ride a bicycle. At some point, I do walk from 7 kilometers from my village to my junior school. It's actually 7 kilometers. And considering how young we are, walking from our village to that, I mean, it's a whole, it's so tiring and painful. Imagine this is something that you keep on doing every day. So at some point it's very discouraging. Like you said, this is what actually leads to people, dropping out of school, especially in the rural Gambia. So I think we can continue from there.
I think these are certain things that need to be highlighted so that people will know that these are really challenges that people are facing at the rural areas, so that they can find a solution for that. But also I think there is another problem that people are facing there also, and that is the parents not knowing the importance of education. I think that is something worth highlighted here, because so many of them will tell you that education, especially Western education, is useless. It is not important. So a parent like that saying that this is not important, it is almost impossible for that person to sacrifice to go and do the work that his child is supposed to do at the farm or whatever, for that child to go to school, because they do not see any value in Western education. One thing we have to understand: education is an investment. It is a long-term investment that you have to wait for a long period for you to see the benefit of it. And if you look at the provinces, it is very rare for you to see that that benefit that will come back to that people can see. Yes, this person has been educated and he is able to do this and that. It is very rare. So that is one of the reasons that people want to believe that it is not it is not important. It is better you send your child to school, or you allow that child to rear cattle, whatever, than sending that child to school to just go and sit there without being educated and without any outcome. I
think I quite agree with you, Tijan. Like you made mention, education is investment. To be honest, it is investment. But one of the main things that you made mention of is the dropout. I mean, most of the cases, people that are or students in the rural Gambia, as you mentioned, at some point in their schooling, they tend to drop out. So that it's a factor which, make people to believe this is not actually something worth considering, leaving our kids going to school. This is why most of the villages, or in many villages in the rural Gambia, you have so many kids that are not even going to school. So I believe they have to understand education is investment, and if you invest in education, actually you will never regret it.
I think it is a long-term investment that people need to be educated about it. Especially, it's important people have to communicate it to them, let them know that this is a very important investment, and it is going to benefit them in the long run. There are so many importance in it, and you just have to educate them about it, and I think it will be okay in the near future.
Yeah, definitely, Tijan. Thank you very much. I think we have mentioned or we talked about very, very important points here. We hope that the message will be, diffused in the rightful way, and then it will benefit the people back home in the Gambia and in anywhere that it could reach. So this is the Gasam Waxtan once again.
I think it's important we talk about some of the solutions that we think
okay,
can be,
definitely.
exactly,
Yeah.
I think it's important to talk about those things.
Yeah,
some of the things that we think can be done to remedy this or to minimize the effect of it. Personally, I believe, first of all, if the government want to address certain things,
yeah, I think it's very, very important. So at this point, we've discussed the problems, actually, what is the problem with rural education in the Gambia. So now, can you get us through this? What you think can be done to improve this situation?
All right, thank you so much. I think that is a very important question that needs to be asked. Anywhere there is a problem, of course, there should be a solution for that. And I believe in the first place, it is the government that is supposed to intervene to make sure that some of these things are regulated and they are settled. And I think one of the ways they will be able to do that is, first of all, to do a survey, to know the number of people that are demanding this. First of all, to know the problems. What are the problems of the people? If they do a survey, they will be able to establish that. When they are done with that, then they will know the demand of in that area, how many people are demanding for this thing, and they will be able to supply or to build schools, whatever that is necessary for them to settle that problem. For instance, if it is distant, they will be able to build so many schools, to motivate people to go to school. I think that is very important. First of all, is to do a survey to know what are the problems of the people. Then from there, they will be also able to educate the people, to tell them what is the importance of Western education. Because so many of these people, as I mentioned earlier, believe that Western education is not important. I could remember very clearly those days when somebody will just come and tell you that Western education is not important. You people are just enjoying. You are going to go to class, sit down. When it is in the afternoon, you come home, and that is the only thing. So they do not know the importance of Western education. I think it is the government's responsibility to make sure that they educate, advocate, talk to these parents, to educate them about the importance of Western education. I think if they are able to know this thing, they will be able to send their children to school. So that is one thing that needs to be done also, to educate them about the importance of Western education. I think that could help them. And also another solution that could be to bring technicals and vocational training, because one thing we said here is that education is a long-term investment. It is something that you can invest and see the benefit of it in 10, 15 years. So somebody that does not believe in Western education, if you want to tell the person to invest in that long term, they might not be willing to do it. So, but if you bring these technicals and vocational training, that is where you'll be able to see short outcome. You train them for 2-3 years, you will be able to see an outcome in it. Yeah. So I think the government need to come in there to make sure that at least they come up with those plannings to make sure that they are able to educate them in that part also.
Quite obvious. I think that is a very, very important point about these vocational trainings. So you see to it that many of the youth that graduate, even in the urban Gambia, our educational system in general, at some point we are very, very unproductive. When it comes to productiveness, what we can offer to the society, it's actually very, very poor. So how can we change this situation? I think it would be very important for the government to consider, creating these, vocational trainings, let them add this to the curriculum, in which, after you graduate, you can establish your own, place to at least employ yourself, because I think it's very important. This will go a long way in solving our unemployment problem.
I think also there is another way they can settle that. That is to introduce conditional cash transfer or other materials to the parents or the students to motivate them to go to school. It is a condition that they can bring, and I know that they are financially able to do that. The government can do that. That is to motivate people to say that if you send 2 or 3 children to school, we are going to support you financially every month with a bag of rice. Also, these are materials that they can support them with. I think this can motivate the parents to to really accept to send their children to school. Or at some point also they can motivate the children. For instance, at school, if you take first or second, they will be able to do this for you. Or if you are going to school, you are serious with your education. This is what we are going to do for you. We are going to give you cash. If you are giving cash to the children, at some point that is going to motivate the parents, because these people are going back to the parents and tell them that this is what I'm able to win at school, and it is because of my determination, my hard work that I'm able to win this thing. So that will motivate the parents to also make sure that at home their children are given the right environment, the support that they need at home to make sure that they are able to do whatever they need to do at home to succeed in their education. So I think this is a policy that they have to come up with. I know they are able to do it financially, and if they want some changes to happen there, I think they have to come up with something like this to motivate the parents.
I believe that honestly, I believe that the government is really capable of doing such, and they are really capable of financing such important initiatives, because ultimately it's the government that wins. Because if we win as citizens, we are all going back to benefit our own country. So in as much as they are willing to come out and support, the citizens are also willing to invest maximum efforts in making sure that they come with amazing outcomes in what they have been investing. So I think it's very important. Ultimately, the points that you mentioned are all very, very valid and important. So I think this brought us to the end of the points that we discussed. But before leaving, I think I will give you some time to at least to have something to say to the people. Your closing remark.
Thank you so much. I think I highlighted very important points here, and these are all visible points that the government can put into consideration to make sure that they improve the situation of the people at the rural area. I think they should be able to do that, because if you look at it, if your population are educated, there is high possibility of your country being your country developing economically, because there are so many things that we in economics that we use to calculate your GDP, for instance. It is the let's say the consumption or the investment that is happening in your country. So if your people are not educated, meaning they stand at a lesser chance of having the resources to invest in your own country. Even to feed themselves is a problem. So it's economically demanding. I think any amount that they spend there as a government, they'll be able to see in the near future. Even not economically, in the near future, they'll be able to see the benefit of it. So it's possible things that they can do. Let them do it for the development of the country.
Definitely. Education is the base. It's the base in all development, be it economic development or development in any aspects. I think it's very, very important that the government note those important points if these can reach to them. I believe, I want to believe that the message would reach to them in any way possible. So I think that finally brought us to the end of the program. We will thank you, Tijan, for honoring our invitations and coming to deliver these very, very important points. The Gasam Waxtan, I think today it's our opening episode, so I would like you to say something to at least encourage people to come and participate in this, as it is a platform. It is a platform that is open to everybody, to every Gasamian, to come out and express themselves. Because as you know, this is, public speaking is about practice. You have to be ready to come and practice. So let them come, the opportunity is here. You come, you practice, people share it, because we all know what you offer is something very, very important. Be it educational, be it comic, whatsoever that you feel you are comfortable with, you can come. What is your message to the Gasamians?
I think you already said that is the program is meant for Gasamians, and I think they should take advantage of this thing. In the first place, it was initiated to build the capacity of Gasamians. I think everyone should take the opportunity to make sure that they participate in any way possible. So I'm just calling on everyone to come in and participate. This is for us. It is a learning process for all of us. No one is perfect here, so we just have to come in and contribute your part.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Tijan. Thank you so much once again. We are very, very happy that you were here with us today.
Thank you so much.